Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Melbourne Sports Centre in Parkville for the 2023 School Sport Vic Basketball State Finals for our senior girls and boys. Pleasure to have your company this afternoon on the SSV website and across our channels as well. You're watching on Facebook, Vimeo, YouTube. Brent Sternberg is my name, joined in commentary today by the great man, 12 months later, Jamie Hamilton. Has that really been a year?
It has, and it's been pretty quick, and we're back at it. We've got Box Hill looking to defend their title, and they've actually started the game with a turnover, so straight into the action, and immediately Warrnambool here in the green, starting to come out, or trying to come out, firing. Three ball's no good. Box Hill pushing it now with McAlary. Hands it off. They decide to slow it down. Going inside, up fake, taking it, finishing with the left hand. Can't quite do that there is Hardacre.
Oh.
And then flying in, a bit of contact to the head as McAlary cleaning up her compatriot. Completely accidentally there, but Carlin looking a little bit worse for wear. First foul there on McAlary.
Well, she knows she's in a championship game now, if she didn't know before.
Box Hill, as everyone knows, Box Hill Senior Secondary College, a stalwart of Victorian basketball. Three ball from the corner's a little bit long, and the rebound pulled down by Millie Kambara. Kicks it off, starting the fast break and finishing just as quickly. Good play there, Mendoza with the 2 points to get us underway.
Millie Kambara, we should say, we saw here last year when Box Hill won the championship as well. So the defending champions in this particular tournament in the white singlets. And on the charge here again, it's Kambara. Good defense there shown by Mia Mills.
Just reading that play perfectly. Making life a little bit uncomfortable here for Box Hill. Tries to go inside, slows it down. There's the cut. Cut off at the pass though. And deciding to pull it out and slow things down here is Warrnambool. No shot clock in these games, so they can really make the most of the time. And that three ball just rims out for Noonan. Box Hill love to run, love to get the ball, push it down the court. Three ball is up and it goes down for Millie Kambara.
Good to see her back, and she's in the action early on.
Playing for trade with the Keilor Thunder. And my Sandringham Sabres certainly saw her knock down a couple of those, unfortunately for us. What can Warrnambool do there? Really methodical with their offense, which is really smart in a game with no shot clock. Getting the best looks every time. They get the offensive rebound as well. They can pull it out. No 14 seconds to worry about, but it doesn't matter because they get the points and the foul.
This will be just a good little nerve settler, won't it, for Warrnambool? Obviously, they'll know the exploits of Box Hill. They may have played against some of these girls, and they'll certainly know that they were the champions from last year. But to the free throw line goes Megan Carlin.
Can't convert the and one. And it's players definitely knowing a lot about each other, whether it's matching up on Friday nights in VJBL or at various rep tournaments and training camps. And there's always a little bit of fear that comes when you match up against a team like Box Hill, because you know the quality of players that they've created and that they've helped elevate. But speaking of quality plays, that wasn't quite one there for Box Hill, and Crichton comes in and gets in the passing lane and gets herself 2 points. Not a lot of fear shown on the hands of Warrnambool so far in this game. Foul's called there. Love that aggressive take from McAlary. Foul's called on Noonan. Just the 15-minute halves in this tournament, so comes and goes pretty quick in a game like this. It's McAlary. Can't knock down the first. And in a game like this is when fatigue can really start to kick in. They've already played a number of games today, although the shorter games
That's another example where not having the shot clock can be used tactically as well to try and slow the speed down of the game and have a bit of a breather. But you're right, Warrnambool been impressed with their start. Remember, Box Hill blew Melbourne Girls College away in the final in 2022. They're looking to get their foot in the game here, Warrnambool.
Lovely defense there from Box Hill, swarming the player driving on the baseline, but they turn it straight back over. And Warrnambool really slowing things down, trying to get as good a look as they can get. And Box Hill really looking to be disruptive. They've gone into a zone here just to really make life uncomfortable for Warrnambool as the pass is deflected out of bounds. And for Warrnambool as well, very shortened bench. Just the 2 players on the bench. Whereas Box Hill, they've brought a full 10-person roster. They're really looking to make the most of this. As they're passing this ball around Warrnambool. Looking to go inside. Trying to feed it into Carlin, and eventually they do. Short corner, lovely pass, but it's sent straight back. And Box Hill once again looking to push the pace a little bit. Get that lactic acid to really build up in the legs of these Warrnambool girls. As the three's launched, hits back iron. Falls in the hands of Noonan. Now it's Mills. Extending this pressure now with Box Hill. Trying to take away any spaces they can. Lovely cut, but 2 players come. Foul's called, and we've got more free throws. And Warrnambool have done a really good job so far of putting the pressure on inside the middle of the key. They've got the size advantage, or at least the height advantage, I should say, and they're really trying to exploit that. And so far, they've done a really good job of it. See Sarah Perry at the line.
Going to miss the opportunity to take the lead here, Warrnambool, but they can draw level with Perry's second attempt.
0 for 2. Frustrating, but hustling for the loose ball. Stays with Box Hill Senior as they push. Up and under's no good. Carlin pulls down another rebound. Warrnambool not backing down from any opportunity so far. They are full of confidence.
Megan Carlin looks a player. Been very busy early.
Again, looking to go inside. They get the screen. Kicks it to the corner. Whipping around. Forcing the defenders to shift. And that 3, let's just say it wasn't the best look. Box Hill, a couple of subs in. And they're pushing the pace. Foul's called.
We should mention as well that these 2 teams have played a lot of basketball to get to this game, not just today, but also within their region. So these are the 2 very best teams, and Warrnambool have obviously not just played a lot of basketball, but travelled a long way just to be here today as well. A bit further than Box Hill.
Oh, absolutely. That's for sure. But if you've made it this far and you've travelled this far, you definitely want to make the most of it. Perry heads to the bench for Warrnambool. On comes Pavlovich. Cutting baseline, kicking it to the shooter in the corner, and that one's no good. Off a foot, and it will go the way of Warrnambool College once again. And Box Hill really not making the most of their opportunities so far. They've had a number of good looks that just haven't gone down and just haven't been able to secure the rebounders. Their defense, on the other hand, has looked pretty good so far.
Oy.
Foul's called. Which way are we going? Points are going to count. Heavy contact, malfunction at the junction. And Mills comes off second best, commits the foul, and the points go in as well.
She's going to come and have a breather as well, Mia.
Well, they're going to call a timeout.
Right, okay.
Warrnambool, called by Mills as well, and that's their only timeout. And I think that's a good one because Mills has done a really good job of leading this team on both ends of the floor, but that's her second foul. And although these games are a lot shorter than a typical game, when you've got 2 fouls this early, it's a question of, is she going to stay on, or are they going to not take that risk, send her to the bench? And if they are going to send her to the bench, that's when they have to have the time to discuss, okay, now what are we going to do? So we saw her initiate that timeout call. And I think that's a really good call so she can chat with the coach, chat with the rest of the team, and figure out, hey, what are we going to do? Because it's only a 3-point game.
Yep.
And although these games are short, there's still, another 20 minutes of basketball left in this game as well. Or we'll say 18 or 19 after they come out, no clock, or the clock does not stop during this timeout. And that's their only timeout as well.
Will they be happy with how the score reads, Warrnambool? 7-4 at this first little interval?
Absolutely. You know, as we've seen with Box Hill Senior over a number of years, and like we saw last year, they can put up points really quick. They can score. They like to run. We've seen so far they're really trying to push the ball in transition, and they haven't been successful with that. So although they've only got 4 points themselves, reducing Box Hill to such a low score at this point, they'd be pretty happy so far.
Millie Kumbara knocks in the first points from the restart. Look at Mills straight back into the action. She's going to draw a foul, I believe, as well. So she's not coming off for a rest. He's straight back out there, straight into the action.
McCallery called for her second foul as well. So the 2 point guards from either side battling with foul trouble already. Thought about the three, decides against it. Here is Mills. Looking to go down into the paint. Kicks it. What big swing pass and a nice finish from Crichton. 4 points already for her. Aggressive take to the ring. Draws the foul. Really nice take there from Houseman. And that's Perry called for the foul. Pavlovich heads to the bench as Noonan comes back on, so trying to get a bit of size to compete with Green here for Box Hill, who is now the tallest player on the court.
They're also trying to make the most as well of those rotations that you mentioned, Jamie.
Yeah, they really like to run, and when you've got 5 players on the bench, it makes it a lot easier than when you've only got 2 on the other end, especially after having played a handful of games already today. Second free throw goes down for Houseman. She's on the board.
Yeah, the ladies in the green would have played a lot of minutes, wouldn't they, with less rotations?
Absolutely. And the foul called on McCallery, and that's 3. And everyone just has a little bit of a chuckle. Everyone, of course, except Coach Katrina Hibbert, who now has to scratch her head. Pressure once again. Heavy contact. Foul's called. It's staying with Warrnambool. Coach Hibbert really frustrated with what she's seen in the last 30 seconds or so. Team not playing the best. They still do have this 3-point lead. As the 3-ball goes up, and that would have tied us up. Mills read that rebound perfectly. It gets knocked out of her hands. But it will stay with the team in green.
This is a good chance for them to just keep the ball in their front half of the court. Like I say, only a 3-point game.
Risky pass, but it pays off. Loose ball. Stays in court. Mills, she's on double-double watch with how many offensive rebounds she's had. Tries to thread the needle. Doesn't quite go her way. Box Hill with another stop. About 90 seconds left in this first half. And with just the 2 15-minute halves in these games, so time to go as fast as you can. And doing exactly that is Kumbara. But answering immediately is Warrnambool. Just like that, pushing it. I thought Box Hill liked to play fast.
It was an important response, wasn't it? Going out to a game-high 5-point lead. Important response for the girls in green. Kumbara again. Happy to just tread water at the top of the D. They've been a bit reluctant to shoot from the perimeter, haven't they, Box Hill?
Well, they've taken a couple, but they just haven't gone down. So I imagine during the timeout, they would have had a discussion about, okay, what's working for us? It's not that outside shot. It's worked when they've been really aggressive and going in. Case in point there, but the basket's waved away. called on Carlin for Warrnambool. And coming out of that timeout, Box Hill were looking really strong, getting into the paint, getting 2 feet in the paint, being really aggressive. And that's when they got a couple of fouls called against them, or fouls called for them. Good aggressive take there. More free throws coming. And that's the half, but we do have 2 free throws before we officially go into the halftime break. So it's Kambara who's led the way so far.
Been the star, hasn't she, in the first half?
8 points. Make that 9. And when you look at the fact that Box Hill have only scored 12. And she knocks down those 2. So we go in to halftime 13-8 in favour of Box Hill. And one thing I do want to quickly point out is, like I said earlier, no shot clocks in these games, but you could hear from the Box Hill bench, one of the players, counting down the game clock. Excuse me. So this team, it would be really hard for them to adjust to playing with a shot clock to playing without. And that's why you see them like to push and like to run, whereas Warrnambool, where not all of their players have played at that level, they do have a couple that are playing VC, playing VJBL, playing in these shot clock level leagues. But you can see them playing a lot more slow, a lot more methodical, really making the most of the clock, whereas Box Hill aren't used to not only playing on offense with a style like that, but having to defend for more than 24 seconds at a time. So I really like the way that Warrnambool is going about it. They're only down 2 possessions, 5 points. That's 2 stops and 2 scores, and just like that, they're back in the it's tied up or they're in the lead. So definitely not a lot going wrong for Warrnambool, but I think the main subject that Tom White and the girls in green are really going to have to focus on is how do we slow down Millie Kambara, because she's done an unbelievable job of getting into the paint, drawing contact, and then finishing through that. So it's a case of, do they double team her? Do they send a different defender on her to try and slow her down? Or do they accept the fact that she's going to get into the paint and then just foul her harder so she can't convert the end one? And there's a reason that I'm not a coach, that I'm just a commentator, because that's a tough question to answer, and I don't know how they're going to be able to do it.
Well, no doubt that's one of a few things that I'm sure they spoke about at the halftime break, and they're back out and keen. The Warrnambool girls staring down a 5-point deficit as we get set to go for the second half. Box Hill looking for back-to-back championships, like we've mentioned. Is it a low-scoring half, Jamie?
It's hard to tell with tournaments like this. It's really difficult with a 15-minute running clock. But both teams have played some really good defense at times, so both teams have had opportunities to get the score higher, but defense, especially when the lactic acid really starts to build up and fatigue starts to kick in, that's really when defense becomes the main priority, because points will come, maybe not as free-flowing as at 9 o'clock this morning, but it'll come in the second half. We'll start to see some more defensive breakdowns and some more free-flowing action. And I was really hoping that would go in to solidify my point, but it didn't. Foul's called. That's on Perry.
It feels like if they can just get one of those to drop in Warrnambool, then they might be on their way back into the game.
They've had plenty of good looks, and that's just when the experience and the level that they've played at, and because for Box Hill, we see the tournaments that they go to throughout the year. We see the talent that they produce that have gone on to NBA and WNBA, starting fives and all-stars and the like. That it's just you talk about the Calder Cannons footy factory. It's the Box Hill Senior Secondary basketball factory for sure. And you can see them really making the most of this no shot clock as they're really slowing things down. But Mills once again had an unbelievable game for Warrnambool. Lovely pass and then the finish inside to Crichton, who is absolutely dominating.
trims the margin back to 2. Here's the dangerous Millie again, going for the rim. Now, perhaps a chance. You mentioned it was a 2-possession game, Jamie. Here come Warrnambool again, starting to lift.
Yeah, 3 will knot us up at 13 apiece. Making the most of the time here. There is the 3.
Oh.
Didn't look like much was going to happen with that one, if I'm being perfectly honest. Couple of subs in here for Box Hill.
Here they go again with those extra numbers.
McKinnon's back on as his houseman. Mendoza, excuse me. Spin move, aggressive take, kicks it out to the corner. Not the best looking shot there, but offensive rebound there for Mendoza. And they're going to slow it down once again. Bit of pace comes. Thought about the spin. Kicks it off. Forced to pick up. That's really good D here by Warrnambool. And they come up with the stop, and they really deserved it, but the double team comes immediately straight through the 5-hole, and it falls back in the hands of Box Hill, and they're going to take a deep breath and reset, because that was a scrappy couple of possessions there. Mendoza with the crossover, goes with the left. Lovely attack, lovely the aggression. And the take to the ring there for Alex Mendoza. Found just that little bit of a gap. Made the most of it, going with the left hand. Her first chance at some free throws.
First time for Box Hill of the second period, and this just to keep the pressure on the scoreboard at least.
Yeah, just to get it back out to that 2-possession margin, which they've done there with that first free throw. And it's just that little bit of breathing room, you know, getting it to they can make a mistake on defense, or an offensive rebound cannot fall their way, but they've still got the lead, and that's such a psychological thing, the difference between 3 points and 4 points in a game of basketball is that mid-range jump shot's no good. Just that difference in 1 point that it can make. And just like that, you see that confidence really start to rise.
Here they go.
And then they can start to run.
And we remember the 2 free throws that were missed on the stroke of half-time as well, which we thought at the time could have been costly. It's proven to be the case. The ladies from Warrnambool.
I would imagine that, you know, fatigue free throws is something that you work on every day at that higher level, because in a game like this, a championship game, it can be really important. This houseman gets called for that foul. And Perry's going to head to the bench as Gilmore checks in for Warrnambool. Found a bit of space, launches the 3, and you cannot give her any room because the 3 ball goes down as we have a look on the Rebel replay. Just found that little bit of space as Mendoza back into live action. Creates all the space herself. Gets to the ring. She's got 6 points. Another 3 is launched, just too short. Gilmore there to make life difficult, but the ball falls in the hands of Kambara, who draws that foul.
And the offensive rebounds for Warrnambool in this second period have started to dry up. They were really good at that in the early minutes of the game.
Yeah, they really, you know, made life uncomfortable for Box Hill and really got them out of their game. Maybe that fatigue really starting to kick in. And Box Hill looking to exploit that as Mendoza creates so much space. We'll call that one a pass, even though I don't think it was. But there to clean up the mess is Gomez.
You're a generous man, Jamie. Down court comes Mills. Margin stretched out to 9.
And that's where she hit the last one. But the
straight
offensive rebound, there we go. And just so much space in the key. I don't know how she managed to find it, but she does. Back-to-back points for Warrnambool off the fingertips of Mills. As you see Box Hill trying to play with a little bit of speed now. Loses the ball but gets it back. There's Gomez. That one hits back iron. Pulled down by Mendoza. He lost the dribble. Kicks it off. Elbow jump shot's no good. And Warrnambool refusing to go away. 6-point game. Good D. No, it's called a foul.
Yeah.
Unlucky there for Gomez. Just got there half a second late, says the official. Just her first foul, so nothing to worry about.
Valuable points on offer here for Warrnambool. I think they've got to take all of their opportunities from here. Less than 8 minutes to play in the second period.
And it's times like this that you really wish that the clock stopped during those free throws, because you want to get those free points, but in a running clock type of game. Goose egg at the free throw line that time. Here's Mendoza. She's looked really good in this second half since she came on. Playing with a lot of energy, a lot of aggression. Finds a little bit of space. That shot's no good, but an offensive rebound. And Box Hill can really start to run this clock down. And make the most of the lack of shot clock. That's exactly what they're doing. It's really smart. As Gomez no good on the second attempt at the three. And we've got a foul called off the ball. It's called on Carlin here. Meg Carlin for Warrnambool. She's going to head to the bench. Looking pretty frustrated. Perry comes back on. Box Hill's ball from the baseline. They get the inbound. Shot's no good, but there to clean up the mess. A little too strong on that floater attempt. And there's the aggressive D. So whipping the ball around. Mills.
Here we go.
Thought about it, but good read there from Gomez. Aggressive take. And she earned those 2 free throws.
Let's see how she goes this time.
It's number 4 on McAlary. Coach Hibbert not too happy with the call. Does call a timeout. Maybe just to cool things down a little bit, because you can see that Warrnambool are really starting to play with a bit of that desperation. They know that this clock isn't going to stop, and that something has to happen, and it has to happen right now. So Hibbert as well, a little bit of gamesmanship as well, maybe, by calling this timeout. You lose a minute, you cut a minute off of the clock, and then I can't imagine that Box Hill will be too fast to get it back out on the court, set things up. So you lose another 30 seconds or so there, and that's what you expect from a legendary coach like Katrina Hibbert, to make the most of the situation, to bend the rules a little bit. But you know, Box Hill are playing a little bit out of sorts right now. You know, the lead is still 6, but you know, they've missed a couple of box out opportunities. They've allowed a couple of offensive rebounds. They've committed a couple of fouls as well. How
do they play it from the restart here? Do they continue to attack the rim, do you think, or soak up the clock?
Warrnambool or Box Hill?
Box Hill.
Box Hill. They're gonna play their style. You know, I'm never gonna second guess Katrina Hibbert. I've done that before in the past, and it
come back to bite.
And it hasn't worked out for me too well. I've also played against plenty of Box Hill teams, and you cannot count them out. Even though we did beat them a couple of times, you can never count them out. They're never going to give up. But honestly, neither are Warrnambool with the way they're playing. As Crichton knocks down that first free throw.
And Capel here would help. He found her radar from the line. That's better.
Knocks down both of them. She goes into double figures now. 10 points for her. Really led the way for this Warrnambool team in the second half. Let's see Box Hill here. They're slowing things down a little bit. Swinging it out to the corner. Looking to go into the post. But some really good D here from Warrnambool. Up fake. Trying to get in. 3-second call, and that was all done by the really good hustle from Warrnambool. you know, the scramble defense that they had to play. You had 5 players from Box Hill running around, except for the one that was in the key the whole time. You know, that's really difficult for defense, and they did a near perfect job of getting back onto their assignments. But now they have to convert down this end. It's a 4-point margin. Here's Mills, relocated to the far corner. Solid D there from McKinnon. Free ball goes up. That one's short. Offensive rebound, though. Mills from the close corner. That one's no good. Falls back in her hands somehow. Wants to get in, kicks it out. Gilmore, that's a deep 2. Maybe if she was in 3-point range, it would have gone in. Yeah. That's another good scramble there from Box Hill as Mills colliding with Mendoza.
Good sportsmanship shown there. Had their opportunities. I think that might be the story of the game for Warrnambool. Had their opportunities to score points. Gave themselves repeat opportunities as well. Just not able to take them.
Just like CM Punk said, luck is for losers. Unfortunately, you know, you make your own luck, and the way that Box Hill are playing, they've made all their luck. Survive this bit of a comeback. I like that no call from the officials. Allow the girls to run a little bit as Mills is forced to pick up. These two are having a really fun battle. Mills and McAlary, Mills and Mendoza.
They want to get it back to Mills, don't they? Close down quickly, though.
There's the 3. That one's just off to the right. No call there. Bit of hands tangled up. And down the other end, Mendoza. And that makes life a little bit more difficult. If you have a look on the Rebel replay, they're just off to the races immediately. Making the most of that big extended bench that they have. And just like... And I feel like it's deja vu all over again.
That's the damn wall busting, I think, Jamie.
Yeah, that's when having that short bench is becoming really frustrating. Got to get some quick points here. The Warrnambool. Mills launches the 3. That one's a little bit too strong. The ball comes down in the hands of Hardacre. And there's the foul. And called on Crichton. Bit of confusion about what's going on right now as Warrnambool have already called, both teams have already used their 1 timeout.
I think the referee's just coming over to suss out what's going on as well. Oh, it looks like we're having a stoppage.
We are having a pause in play. Everyone's a little bit confused, but that's exactly what we're going to do. The clock has stopped, final minute of the game. So you can't bend the rules. You can bend the rules, but you can't break them, unfortunately. But the margin sits at 8 points now. 13 seconds left. And it's pretty much done, unfortunately. As we just have a look on the Rebel replay screen at just how, like you said, the damn wall busted open.
Well, they were the 2 moments, weren't they? And they were almost, I reckon, Raf Agostino could probably just cut and paste the two fast breaks to the rim.
And that's a credit to this team, and you know the offensive protocols, and you know knowing what to do in every situation. You saw the court spread. You know, coaches talk a lot about the lanes on the basketball court. There's 3 lanes. You get no more than 2 people in each lane, and that just makes life so difficult for a team trying to play that transition defense. Back out on the court. More confusion.
Yeah, I was going to say there's
I'm confused, you're confused. Regardless, it's a Box Hill ball. We know that for sure.
That much is clear, yeah.
They have an 8-point lead. About a minute left in this game. Apologies for the 13-second call. That was the time that was on our clock. But 50 seconds left in this one. More full court pressure here and loose ball. They come up with the turnover. Here's Noonan. Whipping it around. Noonan has to launch the 3. She does. Just rims out.
Unlucky.
Surely she deserves a point for that one. And Box Hill are just going to slow this one right down. Warner will have to foul. And there comes the foul. It's called on Mills.
Can I cast my MVP vote?
Oh, I mean, I guess so.
Millie Kumbara. I don't know if we're handing out an MVP medal, but that's the way I would go. Although they've had winners all across the court, haven't they, Box Hill?
Absolutely. Kumbara's just been the leader of this team. She's done a really good job, and I feel like it's almost unfair. I feel like we deserve to give a first half and a second half MVP, because first half, absolutely, Millie Kumbara, but Mendoza in this second half, coming out of half time and really just on the offensive end dominated and really got Box Hill this lead and got them a lot of the momentum and really led them to the win in this second half.
Terrific on off the pine, as they say, but we should send massive congratulations to Box Hill Senior College. Terrific again, back-to-back champions. Final score 25-17. No particular surprises, I don't think, in terms of the winner, but obviously their opponents this afternoon, Warrnambool College, gave them a run for their money for the most part. Absolutely
did that first half, and that's where they really had to, had to win this game. Was in that first half. Yep. They're only running 7 players, and which means just lots of extra pressure, lots of extra workload on this team, and so they really had to get that big lead in the first half and then kind of hold off Box Hill in the second half, because you knew that this second half surge was coming, and that's exactly what happened, but unfortunately they didn't have the lead going into halftime. We might take a quick little breather. Box Hill winners 25-17. We're gearing up for our senior boys final as well. Templestowe up against Foster Senior College. Brent Sternberg, Jamie Hamilton here with you. We'll step out and take a quick little breather. We might have some stuff to get down to courtside, and when we come back we'll have the senior boys final here for you. Back in a moment.